Fans blamed Scientology when Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise split, but very little was known about the divorce. That is, until former Scientologists revealed the chilling details about the marriage's final days. From the moment she first appeared on screen, audiences have been captivated by Nicole Kidman. Since then, she's steadily appeared in both blockbusters and independent films. She also shows no signs of slowing down, despite a life of incredible highs and remarkable lows. Nicole Kidman was born in Honolulu in 1967. At the time, her Australian parents were in the US because her father was studying there. When she was 4, the family moved back to Australia, where they settled in Sydney, the city where Kidman would spend her formative years. When Nicole first saw The Wizard of Oz, it wasn't the character of Dorothy or Glinda the Good Witch that she fell in love with. It was the Wicked Witch of the West who left a lasting impression on her. Kidman has said that after seeing Margaret Hamilton's performance, she was inspired to pursue acting. When she was a teen attending North Sydney Girls High School, she was already auditioning for local TV and film productions. Nicole may have been young, but she was more than willing to take risks on screen, including as the scandalous lead in the romantic comedy Wind Rider. The then 19-year-old appeared in racy scenes with co-star Tom Burlinson, who was 11 years her senior. Throughout the late 80s, Kidman continued to appear in Australian films, gaining critical praise for her appearance in the star-studded thriller Dead Calm. But she caught more than just the critics' eyes. When a young star named Tom Cruise saw the film, he knew that he wanted to cast her in his next movie, Days of Thunder. It would be a life-changing role, in more ways than one.
Well, you got it. I've walked into a jungle.
Come up here and do it. I'll take you to a race.
The film was a huge success, and Kidman's career in the US immediately took off. But she was more than a little distracted by life behind the scenes. Tom Cruise was married to actress Mimi Rogers, and there were rumours that his romance with Kidman began before he and Rogers separated. Less than a year after their divorce was final, Kidman and Cruise got married. Nicole was just 22.
Know about life and how to.
After Cruise's first wife introduced him to Scientology, he became active in the organisation. It's reported that Scientologists had identified Kidman as a potential source of trouble, since her father was a psychologist, and Scientology has denounced both psychology and psychiatry. After they married, Cruise became less involved with the church, at least at first. After the success of Days of Thunder, Kidman and Cruise went on to star in the epic Far and Away, but that wasn't the only thing that they were working on together. They adopted a baby girl named Isabella Jane in 1992. In 1995, they adopted a boy named Connor Anthony. Cruise and Kidman were busy building their family, but she had yet to really hit it big in Hollywood. That is, until she was cast in Batman Forever in 1995.
It's his Achilles heel. It can be exploited.
I know.
Appearing in the superhero film cemented her as an A-lister, but Kidman wanted a lot more out of her career. That same year, she got a role that she was absolutely meant to play, literally. In the novel To Die For, the lead character states that if her life was made into a movie, she'd want to be played by that actress that just got married to Tom Cruise in real life. Kidman became convinced that To Die For would be the critical breakthrough that would put her at the top come awards season, and she went to great lengths to get the part. She ended up asking around for director Gus Van Sant's number. Once she got him on the phone, she spent 40 minutes attempting to convince him to cast her. The film was a success and earned Kidman a Golden Globe for Best Actress, as well as a BAFTA nomination. But when the Oscar nominations were revealed, Kidman was conspicuously absent. When she was just a teenager acting in stage productions, an audience member by the name of Jane Campion had remarked upon Nicole's talent. About 15 years later, that audience member ended up becoming an acclaimed director. Campion cast Kidman in her film version of the Henry James novel The Portrait of a Lady, cementing her status as a prestige actress. However, the production was incredibly difficult.
Only I could find it now.
To play Isabel Archer, Nicole had to dress up in all the accessories expected of a 19th century lady every day on set, including a corset that squeezed her waist so much that she was able to get it down to 19 inches. At this point, she was still a relatively new mother to 2 young children, who she was rarely separated from, even while working. She'd also filmed Batman Forever, To Die For, and The Portrait of a Lady almost back to back, and finally, it all caught up with her. After finishing The Portrait of a Lady, Kidman was so exhausted that she had to spend 2 weeks in bed. Luckily, her next role was a little easier on her both personally and professionally, a thriller called The Peacemaker, co-starring George Clooney. Then there was the now cult classic Practical Magic alongside Sandra Bullock.
One wicked problem.
She has the worst taste in men.
Any man they fall for.
Legendary filmmaker Stanley Kubrick wanted Tom and Nicole to appear as the leads in his next film, but one of the conditions was that they couldn't even sign up for another movie until it was completed. Regardless, the 2 stars jumped at the chance to work with the acclaimed director. They had no idea what they were getting into. Eyes Wide Shut had been in the making for 3 decades by the time that Kidman and Cruise were cast in the lead roles of the psychological drama. But just because the cameras were finally on, that didn't mean the film would be a breeze to make. Kubrick would demand up to 70 or 80 takes from Kidman per scene. The film began production in November 1996 and was finally completed in June 1998. It actually appears in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest constant movie shoot. The film's release should have been a dream come true for Kidman and Cruise, but instead it quickly turned into a nightmare. The controversies surrounding Eyes Wide Shut overshadowed the movie itself, along with the death of director Stanley Kubrick. It was reported that Kidman and Cruise celebrated their 10-year anniversary together by renewing their vows on Christmas Eve 2000, and that a few days later they were seen out in Vegas together, going on ride after ride on the Stratosphere Hotel's roller coaster. But less than 2 months later, they made an announcement that shocked both fans and tabloids. After a decade together, Cruise and Kidman were separating. All the old rumours about the couple emerged yet again, and new ones began to brew as well, including a rumour that Kidman had been unfaithful. For his part, Cruise did nothing to discourage the tabloids. When he finally broke his silence about the reasons behind the separation, he said, "Nicole knows why." Kidman was pregnant when Cruise filed for divorce. Soon after, she suffered a miscarriage. Kidman was devastated and overwhelmed. While Cruise continued to work and make appearances, she cancelled photo shoots and pulled out of films. As the pair fought out the divorce in court, the press followed their every move. For her part, Kidman remained tight-lipped about the split for the sake of her kids. She began to rebuild her life with the help of her close friends Naomi Watts, who she lived with, and Hugh Jackman. But she still couldn't escape the unwanted attention from the tabloids. In August of 2001, Cruise and Kidman's divorce was finalised. While they've remained relatively quiet about the split, both have claimed that they remain friendly for the sake of their children. Following the divorce, Kidman threw herself into her career. She was nominated for her first Academy Award for Moulin Rouge, and to say she worked hard for it would be an understatement. Not only did she break 2 ribs on set, she also injured her knee during a musical number and had to film some scenes from a wheelchair. She followed up this performance with the eerie horror The Others, and for the drama The Hours, she finally won the coveted Best Actress Oscar.
Thank you so much.
Now that she was a single woman, she was linked with a number of high-profile men, including Hollywood playboy Steve Bing and musician Lenny Kravitz. None of the relationships lasted until she met country musician Keith Urban. After a year and a half of dating, the pair wed in Sydney in June 2006, but the marriage got off to a rocky start. Kidman soon realised that Urban had a destructive drug problem, but she didn't give up on him. She decided to stage an intervention. He listened and immediately checked into rehab. The news made it to the tabloids, but Urban got through the programme and has reportedly been sober ever since. After her struggles to conceive when she was with Cruise, Kidman was ecstatic when she finally became pregnant and gave birth to a daughter with Keith Urban in 2008. Hoping to avoid another risky pregnancy, the couple had another child via surrogacy in 2010. There's one thing that Nicole's two marriages have in common, and it's not just the constant tabloid rumours. When Kidman and Cruise wed, they vowed to never spend more than a couple of weeks apart from each other. This is a vow that Kidman also adheres to in her marriage with Urban. She considers it an extremely important part of their relationship. In the months and years following her divorce from Tom Cruise, the tabloids often blamed Scientology for the split. After all, the marriage had got off to a rocky start due to Kidman's psychologist father and apprehension about the religion. As the years went on and Kidman and Cruise spent more time together, adhering to their promise to spend very little time apart, Scientology higher-ups became concerned that they were losing their grip on Cruise. David Miscavige hired Marty Rathbun, then a senior executive at the Church of Scientology, to keep an eye on the situation. In turn, Rathbun hired notorious private investigator Anthony Pellicano to spy on Nicole and tap her phone. After Rathbun left the church, he revealed that her phone had been tapped without her knowledge. And when Cruise filed the divorce papers, Miscavige was thrilled that Kidman, who he perceived to have been dragging Cruise away from the organisation, was gone. During her marriage to Cruise, Kidman had claimed that her religion was a little bit of everything. She said that there was a lot of Catholicism, some Buddhism, and even some Scientology. Following the divorce, she distanced herself from Scientology, and it led to devastating consequences. Kidman's adopted kids with Cruise, Connor and Isabella, are both very active Scientologists. In recent years, sad rumours have swirled about their relationship. It's been claimed that her kids, or the Church of Scientology, have branded Kidman a suppressive person following her divorce from Cruise, and she hasn't been seen in public with either of them for years, leading many to believe that they're estranged. For her part, Kidman has defended her kids' decisions, saying that they're adults and that they're allowed to make their own choices. Sadly, though Connor and Isabella are now adults, they don't seem to have reconciled with their mother. Neither Kidman nor Cruise attended Isabella's wedding, and Connor lives in a Scientology community in Clearwater, Florida. In June of 2025, Kidman shared an Instagram post wishing her husband a happy 19th wedding anniversary. So fans were shocked when, just 3 short months later, it was reported that she had filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. And as more details came out, it seemed as though the news wasn't quite as left field as it originally seemed. Nearly a month earlier, at the beginning of September, Kidman and Urban had signed a document regarding custody of the 2 daughters they share together, with Kidman taking on 309 days a year with the girls and Urban 59 days. Just a few nights before the papers were signed, Urban changed the lyrics to one of his songs, removing a reference to Kidman and replacing it with the name of his guitarist, Maggie Bow. Thanks for watching. If you love movies, television and entertainment, make sure to subscribe to stay in the know, and check out the videos on screen for more must-watch picks.